Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Capo Grande, Tony Chini, and you're listening to Wrestling IQ 101.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can listen to Wrestling IQ 101 right here on YouTube. You can follow us on social media, that's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, at Wrestling IQ 101. And today I'm joined by NXZN. How's it going, man?
Good evening, Andrew, you handsome piece of crap. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just great. I have a question for you. We're going to start this interview pretty fast. You want to go?
I wasn't expecting that. I haven't said that in a little while, have I? But the answer to your question, honestly, yes, I'd love to go. Honestly, one of the more accessible things to understand about me is I'm always ready to fight. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. I don't care how much you weigh. I especially don't care how much you weigh. I will fight you. Right here, right now. Let's go. You want to go?
Well, not personally, but I'm sure somebody listening to this might want to go one day with you. And I'm glad that you're open to all challenges. It's pretty exciting.
For the first few years of my career, I wasn't exactly making any friends, and I don't really think that I have that many right now. I know I've got the program. I know I've made more connections in the wrestling business. But I'm still very, antisocial. I don't like people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I prefer my silence. I prefer my solemnity, and when people disturb the circle, that's what I refer to it as. When people disturb the circle, it's honestly the first thing that comes to my mind. You want to go?
Yeah, right. I mean, you put it out there. I mean, once you put it out there, right? Either yes or no. So I mean, it's kind of exciting that you're willing to face anybody. Let me ask you this.
To get the simple answer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, you have a unique name. It's NXZN. I mean, how did you come up with that?
First of all, Andrew, I didn't really, I wouldn't say I came up with it. Yeah, it's just kind of my name, honestly. Yeah, there you
go. I mean, were you born with it, or is it something you just picked up over time?
Let me ask you something, Andrew. What was your birth name, huh?
Andrew.
Just Andrew?
Yeah.
You want to tell the whole world what your birth name was? First, middle, and last?
No.
No, I don't think you do, yeah. So.
I asked the questions here.
Is that so? Yeah. First thing you asked me right off the bat, you want to go?
Yeah.
As if I was supposed to say, oh no, you're scary. But yeah, what my name is NXZN, and that's what you can call me, and I'm glad that you got it right, because nobody does. But that's not a reflection on me, actually. That's a reflection on the intelligence of my opponents, people interviewing me, people who don't ask enough questions. They automatically assume. I especially hate it when people call me Nixon. That bothers me to a degree far worse than you can imagine, because I've said my name multiple times, and it shows that people are not listening to me. And if you don't want to listen to me, that's okay. But don't make it seem like I didn't tell you what my name was. You know better than most people that it is NXZN. So all you have to do is say it that way each and every time, and nobody will get hurt, honestly.
Okay. Now you're more than just a wrestler, right? I mean, you have a graphic. I mean, you have an art page where you post art. I mean, you're into music. How do you come up with these passions?
well, yeah, that's more on the real side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So legit, I am a musician. I play guitar, I play drums. Legit, I am a designer. I went to college for it. I didn't finish, unfortunately, but I could. I still could.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot about design because of, like integration, like practical integration. Like I'm doing it. I'm actually making it work. I put my designs on my tights. I put my designs on my shirts. And someday very soon, I'm going to come out to a song that I made. But right now, I'm still humble. I prefer to come out to music by other people because it's showcasing respect to the music industry. Also, incredibly unrelated, I believe that listening to music should be free. And I'm willing to argue about that because my favorite band in the world, Metallica, had a big controversy with Napster in like 2003 because they were peer-to-peer file sharing their music without them receiving any money. And it's like, bro, don't you want the people to listen to your song? So,
yeah, I'm not opposed to free
I'm willing
music.
to die on.
I'm with you on that. Free music is good for everybody. So
most of my music right now is free. I'm actually mostly a cover artist. I'm covering Metallica. I'm covering, if I could flex a little here, I'm covering songs like Avenged Sevenfold, Scott Hates Us. I'm covering songs like Eye of the Tiger. It's just one of those songs you have to know. And Iron Man by Black Sabbath. Yeah, so if I could flex a little bit right there.
yeah. Let me ask you this: do you just like hardcore metal, or do you like everything from country or pop?
I'd say I have a country song in my phone, and nothing against country. Like I said, listening to music should be free. So all music, to me, is music. Like music has been around since people were able to like bang their hands on stuff and guttural moans and whatnot. So honestly, music taking off like it did, it bothers me that the music industry is the way that it is, but I digress. So country music has a space in my phone, but not a place dedicated to rock and metal music. I grew up on, my cousin is the drummer of Alisana. That's another flex. That's a metal band based in North Carolina. So I grew up listening to that. That got me through some hard times. And, well, actually, my mother used to listen to a lot of, like, R&B. And she's like, where did this crap come from? This crap being Metallica. And I don't know where it came from. It came from me enjoying it, and I wanted to have it around more often than I wanted, say, the music she was listening to, Celine Dion, Luther Vandross, all that. So we all develop our own individual tastes, and mine can easily be described as no particular style. Like, I can easily shift from rock to hip-hop and back.
And we can both agree that, like Justin Bieber, he's the GOAT, right?
I have a couple of Justin Bieber songs on my phone, but you wouldn't catch me saying that in 2009. Nah.
No.
I was a big Bieber hater a long time ago, but now I'm like,
It's all right.
he's been through enough. He's Canadian.
Yeah, he's cool. It's all right. That's really cool. So, like you said, you're into art, you're into music. What else is NXZN into? Is there a passion of yours that you like? Do you like collecting like cards or something like that? Anything?
Actually, quite a few. Firstly, that's not even all the facets. I'm a very multifaceted superstar.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Lately, I have been editing a lot of videos, like the program promo that you just saw. That was me. I did that. It's an in-house project, and I really feel like there's a lot of opportunities in wrestling to get a lot of these projects, music in wrestling, art in wrestling, video editing in wrestling. But passions other than that, I have my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. Video games. I am a huge gamer, but not like new stuff, not Series X, not PS5. I'm playing my 360 still. I'm playing the N64. I'm playing the PS2, and there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out real soon on my gaming Instagram, NXZN Gaming, so stay tuned.
I think it's kind of interesting, right? Because the games now, they come out, they're so beautiful, they're so amazing, the graphics are stunning, but they lost the quality of fun. Like, now you got to be like a rocket scientist to figure out these controllers.
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. You have to really, and maybe it's because my eyes are not following everything. You know, like, there's a lot to focus on, but I'm not looking at everything, and I'm missing stuff. And then there's things that you can't collect on one playthrough, so you have to play it again and again. And the worst part about games now is it's all formulaic. Like, once you figure out the formula, and this is why I wasn't really, like, finishing my Pokemon game, is because I figured out what you had to do, and I figured out what was going to happen. So, realistically, I beat the game in my head. I didn't have to finish. So, games now, you kind of have to put in the grunt work, you have to put in the hours. Most games are skill trees, and you have to level up, and you start from nothing, and some people can buy it. I choose not to. But other than that, you know, I'm not trying to play games like that anymore. I'm trying to play games that I grew up on. I'm trying to play games that I haven't played in a long time. Like, honestly, I've been playing a lot of WWE Day of Reckoning on the GameCube.
Oh, nice. That's a fun game. You know, I noticed that, like, WWE 2K, right? Like, the submission is, like, the hardest thing to do. Like, to break out of a submission, like, you gotta, like, get the circle, like, get around the thing. I miss, like, just button smashing. That's the way you used to break it.
Yeah. Make the controller tougher. Instead of making the games harder, make the controller tougher.
Yeah.
And these games are far ahead of their time because it was honestly a match of who could hit the button the most amount of times. Like, but I think it was, and this was a travesty. I think it was WWE 2K14 I was a legend at, and I mean an absolute legend. You could not pin my shoulders to the mat for your life. But once upon a time, I was the best, and then I fell off, and it just became so much more difficult after a while to get that narrow bar. When you get pinned, you get to get that narrow bar and then hit it. I used to be the best at that, but I fell off, and so my friend Mello actually beat me, and we were playing for a championship, and I got embarrassed in front of all my friends in my game. In my game. I was the absolute legend. I lost the title to Mello. So if Mello's out there and he's listening right now, screw you, Mello.
All right.
You beat me in front of all my friends for my championship, and I never got my rematch in my game.
Well, let me ask.
And I feel like that matters.
Let me ask you this: out of all the characters in WWE 2K14, who's the best one?
It's been a while. It's been a long while. Can I say my character? Because I maxed out the attributes. Immediately I went to beat the streak mode, and that means that's the Undertaker. That character. So, maybe. I think had a lot of characters in that game.
I think the best character in that game was Virgil. He's the best character in every game. Sorry?
Emotional value, because that's like shock value, more like.
Well, he's the best. He's the best wrestler of all time.
You say that right in my face? How dare you lie to my face?
It's not a lie. There's like Virgil, and then there's everybody else. It's kind of.
So Virgil could have taken the finger poke of doom and not felt a thing?
Yeah.
You psycho. That's impossible.
I mean, he's throwing down breadsticks and meat sauce, so yeah, he's doing pretty good. But on
I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But on a more serious note, SWF. You resigned there for the last couple of years. You've been having some stellar matches. You started, losing. I remember the first time I saw you, right? You lost your match. And then fast forward all these years later, I mean, you're headlining the biggest show of the year. I mean, how does that feel?
You have exactly you said everything I wanted to say.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, but it's not been all these years later, honestly. You messed up there. It's 2. There's only been 2 years. In 2019 is when I really started taking this serious. And 2021, boom shakalaka, here we are. And I'm actually making a difference. So it shows that hard work pays off because, I started training in 2012. I wouldn't say I wasn't putting the work in, but I definitely could have been doing more with the budget that I had, the finances and the way it was set up like that. I could have been doing it back then, but I didn't, and I blame only myself. So 2015 is when I made my actual in-ring debut. in, and get this, I'm going to say it, VCW. And so I had my first in-ring match, and then I had I had three more after that. That was 2015, 2016. That's the beginning of it all. And then I put it away for a while, and I was just like, I know what to do. I just don't think I'm going to do it. And then this guy, I'll call him BDM, he shared this tryout thing, and I had never been to a tryout before, and it was in New Jersey, and I had recently moved to New Jersey, so I decided to take the trip, and that was like November 2018, and SWF and the old trifecta, way back then, that was the tryout for them, and that's where it all got started, because I got the call that I was going to be on the SWF show in January of 2019, so 2016 I put it away, 2019 I took it back out, been doing it since 2019 consistently, except for the pandemic, of course. And yeah, I feel like it's paying off. It's actually like working. Like, some people are afraid to follow their dreams because it's not going to work out. But if you're actually like doing it all the time, if you're thinking about it in your off time, then there's no way you can fail. And I don't mean to sound like one of the preachy types, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, and you've done it all since coming back. I mean, you've been in the ring with Steve Lugo. You've had triple threat matches, tag team matches. Is there a particular match that you like since you re-debuted?
I can tell you, my matches with Steve Lugo from 2019 were some of the hardest hitting battles I've ever been in, and F that guy, because he fisherman suplexed me off the top rope. I'd never had that done to me before, and honestly, if it ever happens again, it'll be too soon. One match I absolutely hated was my match with Astro Morales because he was kicking my butt. But you know, that's experience. You know, you're taking the lumps. And my favorite match so far has been the Megaslam match, because I just went crazy and went all out. And prior to that, my favorite match was the six-man tag team match against Rob Fury and Riot City. It just goes on like that. They're getting better every single time, and I'm feeling better about myself as a wrestler. So I'm actually like putting out better work. You know, it's. I have a saying, and it's real life me, but it works for everything. False confidence is true confidence. You say I can do it, maybe you can.
Yeah, you know, and it's been, you know, it's kind of been crazy to see that match at Megaslam. It was really fun and exciting. I really enjoyed it. NXZN, right? Are they initials for something though? I've been trying to rack my brain around this.
If there were initials for something, I bet you could figure it out. I think it would probably be easier to tell you what it doesn't mean.
Okay.
Okay. There's no xylophones. There's no zebras. There's no Xaviers or Zacharys. So, given that, can you try and piece it together?
No.
You know what's interesting is that you're thinking that it stands for something. And you know what? The only thing that NXZN stands for is justice and truth and what's right in this world. That's what NXZN stands for. But no, I don't think that the letters actually, like, do that. Like, again, we're talking about my name. What does Andrew mean? Is it short for something?
Yeah, it does. It means
Andrew Archias or something?
It actually means manly in Greek. I looked it up.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
So all these years later, now it means something else because it's associated with you.
Okay. Well, I think it still stands.
What's that?
I don't know.
It's like a brand of salsa, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Are you named after the salsa? Are you Mexican, Andrew?
Actually, I am Spanish, but it was actually named after the university.
You're named after the Pace University?
I'm a genius, yeah.
You're a genius. Okay, well, I guess the bar is really low.
Yeah, the bar's really low.
Perhaps, Andrew Pace, if your name means manly and you're named after the university, then perhaps you're doing everything right. But you know what my name means?
No, that's what I'm asking you.
None of that. It means it's its own entire thing. So I really think, where were you born, Andrew?
In New Jersey.
Like what hospital? So I can go ahead and look up your record.
Okay. Well,
You want to get all...
I'll tell you. I'll tell you off air.
Right? You want to dig? Let's dig, all right? You want to ask me the questions, the hardest-hitting questions I've ever been asked. So maybe you want to be in the hot seat?
No. I ask the questions. That's what we do here.
Had I realized you'd be a hypocrite, maybe I might...
We can't flip the tables here.
Okay, yeah, next time I'll ask the questions, but this time, yeah, I'll answer your questions. What are your questions?
All right. So we know you like wrestling. We know you like graphic design. We know you like music. What kind of shows or movies do you like?
You think with all that stuff that I'm doing, I have time to sit down and watch shows and watch movies?
Well, I mean, you can make time, right?
I like reruns.
Really?
Maybe this is some highly philosophical-ish, but I watch stuff that reminds me of, earlier times in my life, times when things were simpler. So with all the streaming services they got out now, I can just watch the same shows I've always been watching and stay in a very comfortable mindset, not really going too far. I'm not I don't have anything to learn, so I'm not doing anything when I'm watching these shows. I'm just kind of allowing them to take up my time. So when I'm dedicating my time and effort and memory to watching a new thing, it's mind-blowing to me. It's like, don't you have other things that you need to be doing? So when I play video games, honestly, and it's been a while since I've actually sat down and played a game, but I will have to start doing some of that to record. But when I do that, it's kind of a way to separate from having to learn anything, from having to dedicate myself to anything. It's more like I'm chilling. I'm just playing my games. It's a lot of fighting games, maybe some shooting games. Maybe that says a lot about me. Maybe that's my stress relief. But honestly, there's no time. There's no time to play. There's no time to watch movies. There's no time to watch TV. So I'm a very busy guy. And right now, I'm doing this interview. So imagine all the other stuff that I have to do after this.
Yeah. So how exactly did you get into wrestling? Did you grow up a wrestling fan? Was it something that you just kind of stumbled upon? Is it something that you always knew you wanted to try?
I've been watching wrestling since I can remember. But back then, it was a long time ago, so it was not that long. I was born in the 90s. So it was, I believe my earliest wrestling memory was WrestleMania 2000. If you can truly pinpoint it, that I was watching the ladder match with the Hardys and the Dudleys and Edge and Christian. And that night, Triple H defended the championship in the Four Corners match with the McMahons in each corner. So, yeah, it just it got more interesting after that. And, and then you get to relive the history and, they're always talking about what they've done up until now. So it's I didn't really miss anything. And I wouldn't consider myself a wrestling historian, but I've been watching lots of wrestling. And I could easily fill in the blanks when somebody's talking about a storyline. All that to say, to answer your question, I've been watching wrestling a long time. So I never actually thought I'd get into the wrestling business, but it just kind of seemed like an inevitability after a while. When you think about it, I wanted to give back, but I also wanted to take something from it. I wanted to take from the wrestling world what they've taken from me, and that's my time and my money.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
It's time for them to give back to me. I'll pay my dues by setting up the ring and taking down the ring after the show, but they're gonna eventually they're gonna give back to me.
Sure, that's the goal, right? When growing up watching wrestling, did you have a certain favorite? Was it Triple H, like you said before?
No, it was Stone Cold.
Stone Cold?
Yeah, of course it was Stone Cold. The hottest wrestler of this generation or any. Whenever he comes out, he gets a pop. And I was just going crazy because he would stun Vince McMahon and then he'd drink a beer. Like back when everybody thought wrestling was... Back when when Vince McMahon was stunned... when Stone Cold Steve Austin would stun Vince McMahon, it would be he was being us. He was doing it for us.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. There's a lot of legends that the Trifecta is bringing in, and they've been, Rob Fury's been bringing in legends for a long time now. Chad's been bringing in legends. Is there one particular legend that you would love to look across the ring at?
It's funny you should mention that because my next show is SWF Shockwave and in Lyndhurst, New Jersey on May 22nd. So I'm going to be standing across the ring from the longest reigning ECW World Heavyweight Champion of all time, the franchise Shane Douglas, and his tag team partners, the SWF United States Tag Team Champions, Riot City. And I'm going to be joined by my boys, the SWF World Tag Team Champions, the Gunners. And that's the next show. You're talking about legends I want to face. There's got to be so many. And imagine my surprise when I get booked for my first SWF show, and I wasn't expecting a legend. I wasn't expecting this quality of wrestling. I've always been watching wrestling on TV. Independent wrestling was very new to me when I got into the business. So I'm learning all these things for the very first time. And the first Megaslam that I was on the pre-show, and I met Gangrel. And like I said, I grew up in the Attitude Era, so that was huge for me. And maybe someday I'll get to face him. But there's everybody. He just fought Rhett Titus in March. I want to fight Rhett Titus. Everybody. You asked me earlier if I want to go, and you already know, Andrew. You already know.
Yeah, apparently you want to take on everybody, and height and weight doesn't matter.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I'd say no. Yeah, everybody. Bring it.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you going into the match at SWF Megaslam, I wasn't sure if you guys were gonna be loved or hated. I mean, I know the foundation going into this they're really hated. They're hated everywhere they go. So it was kind of nice, right? Seeing the crowd get behind you, right?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, I suppose. Realistically, I wasn't expecting anything that happened at Megaslam. I came out ready to fight. I came out ready to do my thing. And it just so happened that people wanted to see us pick the crap out of the foundation. So I was more than happy to oblige. I really there isn't a better cause that you can get behind. And it's not the whole foundation, honestly. It's really just that one selfish, egomaniacal boy. He runs his mouth and he causes problems. So he's bringing the rest of them down as a result. And I hated them from the moment I met them. So I get it.
And it's kind of funny, right? Because Sean Donovan, who is beloved, hated by everybody. He got in their face at Megaslam, and I mean he was calling them out too, and people were starting to like him. So it was it was a nice refreshing that you guys have been hated for a while, so it's nice seeing you guys cheered. It was kind of nice.
I don't think we were hated, Andrew. I think we were misunderstood. I think people don't want to get behind something that they don't know about. They're not asking enough questions. And when I say they, I mean you, and I mean everybody, and I mean ask more questions. Why are we doing the things that we do? Why did we get together as a team at SWF in October at Resurgence? We were the only ones here. So it's like, why would you hate on us? We're only doing what you would do. We're only doing what anybody else would do. Our backs are to the wall. We're being opposed by basically everybody in the wrestling community for the time, everybody in the wrestling world. We weren't fighting anybody. We were only being ourselves, and I don't understand the hate behind that. So imagine Megaslam. We come out. We're not here to do anything but fight. That's what people wanted us to do, is fight. They wanted us to fight the foundation. And you brought up a very interesting point when you were talking about Sean Donovan, the standalone wrestling heavyweight champion, calling out the entire foundation. It was very satisfying to watch. Sean Donovan stands for a lot of pure wrestling in this industry right now.
Yeah.
When you watch him talk about it, he brings up a lot of good points. And I think the one point that I agree with the most is respect. And Jay Curcio is going to have his hands full trying to take the standalone wrestling heavyweight title off of Sean Donovan because he is a wrestler. He is a talented, capable athlete. So he was yelling at him, telling him, spit the gum out of your mouth, and I was laughing. I was getting ready for my match against the Foundation, but he was talking to them, so I took a vested interest, and he called him out for chewing gum. And, you know, that's one of those really small things that you don't think about, but once you've been told it for the first time, then you'll never forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's about respect. It's about staying humble, too.
So
and I think that was my problem with the Foundation. Excuse me, I was going to use another F word. That was my problem with the Foundation is I'm not collecting a lot of humbleness from them. I'm not collecting a lot of like, here's what we're going to do for you. It's what can you do for us? So it's like, it's those guys.
So let me ask you this: short-term goal. Where do you want to be in ASWF? Do you want to be the world champion? And then also the other question is, where do you want to see yourself in the future? Do you see yourself being a part of WWE? Do you see yourself being a part of AEW or something like that?
I'll tell you the same way I've been telling everybody who's asked me all week. Tell Vince, call Vince. I want to be in the WWE. I want to be on TV. Yeah, that's why you get into this business. Yeah, it's not to say a far cry, but it's a really like narrow goal to say I want to be the WWE champion. Okay, like only 53 people in history have ever done that. So imagine my chances. There's millions of wrestlers. So being in the WWE would be the payoff at the end of this. You know, making a difference in wrestling. If I can sound cheesy for a second, but I'm trying to get new goals. I'm trying to get different goals. The more I say I'm going to do, the more I do. It's not really like I ever thought I came to do what I did, and I said, let me hang it up after that. So I just keep doing more stuff. I never thought I would do any of this stuff, and I just keep doing more stuff. So imagine now that narrow goal of being WWE champion is only all the more reachable. But I'm still not going to resign myself to say I will be the WWE champion. It might never happen. I can say I want to be in the WWE. I want to be in AEW. I want to be in New Japan. I want to be in AAA. I want to be in all those places. That is a more attainable goal. So, I'm setting different goals for myself all the time. And you talked a bit before about my music and my design and stuff like that. And it's like there's a lot of avenues to make a success in this industry. So I feel like it's not just I want to main event WrestleMania. Like that's a very selfish thing to say because people who want to main event WrestleMania think that they are the star attraction, that they are what everybody wants to see. And it's like you could not be. I am closer to a Scotty 2 Hotty or a Grandmaster Sexay right now than I am to a Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I am okay with that because I'm doing the fans the favor. I'm doing myself the favor. You know, I'm making it work for what it is. I'm not trying to be super selfish. Not yet, anyway. Once I get more experience under my belt, once I have more knowledge, and once I have more confidence, let's say, then I'll be making bigger strides. But if Vince calls me tomorrow, I'd say, yeah, I'll go work for you.
And I think that's too cool of an answer. You know, but you've done a lot. You've done since coming back. You've been a referee. Have you thought about doing commentary at all?
Yes, all those avenues. It would be. I would be remiss if I didn't tell everybody listening that I'm not just trying to be a wrestler. I'm trying to be commentator. I'm trying to be a ring announcer. I'm trying to ring the bell. Like somebody needs to do that. I can do that, and I don't want to do it for the rest of my life or anything like that. But I want to collect all this knowledge and experience and stuff like that. Like I like doing this stuff. So, but commentary especially, like. You give me a microphone and you let me go off, and I can make or break these guys. So
that's really fun. So NXZN, I think you're an interesting character. I'm glad we finally got to have this conversation. Let me ask you this in closing.
What is so interesting about my character, Andrew?
Well, just the fact that you're more than just one dimension. There's so many things about you, and goals that you still
tell everybody.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to learn about NXZN, but like, I think it's easier to say, let them learn, let them find out.
Yeah, I think so.
The more people learn about me, the more that they say things like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that he da-da-da-da. And it's like, yeah, because you're not asking enough questions. I really want to hammer that point home. Ask more questions. Maybe you'll learn something today. The old adage is, we learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll learn something today. Maybe people are so close-minded that they want to seem like they know things, and that's what really bothers me. People don't know things. You don't have all the answers, Sway. People don't know things. They have to ask more questions.
You just pull Kanye West.
I did. And it's unfortunate, but he said something so very true.
Well, yeah. Well, at least now we know that you're the Walt Disney of wrestling.
Oh, God. What?
Well, he's the Walt Disney of fashion, Kanye, right? So, or music, rather. I can't believe you pulled the Kanye West.
Not him either. Let me be the NXZN. How about that?
All right, well, yeah, the NXZN. Where can people find you on social media if they want to hang out with you? They want to try to find where you're going to be for your next couple matches.
Well, I don't think I'm in a hangout mood lately, especially with all this work that I got to do. Mm-hmm. You know what? Tell the world. I'm busy all the time. I am making strides. I am making big strides. And not because I said that I was going to, but just because there's really nothing else to do. So, to answer your question, there's a lot of places you can find me. I'm mostly on Instagram, though, if I can be so honest. And for wrestling, it's NXZN Official, NXZN OFFICIAL. And for music, it's NXZN Music. It's spelled just exactly the way it sounds. For designs, it's NXZN Designs. There was one more. There's a lot of places you can find me. What I'm doing for everybody, I'm doing them the favor of going in between my accounts and liking all my posts, so you can find me through me, honestly. And
that's easy.
If it doesn't get any easier than that, please let me know.
Sure. And
yeah. I don't know why you think I'm so incredibly interesting. Your fascination with me is probably from the fact that you're not asking enough questions. But don't ask them to me. I feel like you ask me enough questions. Ask yourself. Really just soul search. Ask yourself, what does he mean when he says whatever he says?
And I shall do that. And in the meantime, you've been listening to Wrestling IQ 101. That's Wrestling IQ 101 on YouTube. You can check out this episode, past episodes. You can check out us on social media at Wrestling IQ 101. I've been Andrew. That has been NXZN. He's a talented wrestler, and you can see him near you in a ring. And we'll see everybody really soon.